God is calling us to. My journey, when I came to Jesus Christ 24 years ago, I was excited. I was on fire. I had been discipled somehow. And I was going places, giving my testimony, preaching, doing ministry. And suddenly, the young lady who led me to Christ, one day I had gone for a mission. It was supposed to be 5 days. And I returned after 3 days. And she said, "Why are you back?" I said, I wanted to be around you. I didn't want to be here. I felt I could not be there. And she said, remember we were in our small room where we used to do our 24-hour prayer. And that night she prayed and prayed. She did not preach to us as usual. She kept crying and crying to God and weeping and weeping and weeping. And towards morning, we had begun around 6. But towards morning, she said, "Let's kneel down." And she said, "Lord Jesus, I know James is going to do great things for you. But if I'm a hindrance, please take my life." And we said, wow. She entered into a prayer of 7 days, prayer and fasting. And after 7 days, she passed on. And when she passed on, I said, "Lord, what do you mean? I just been in the Lord a few years and now see what this is happening." The one who I felt was let me use this word, the one that I felt was my God at that time. Because she had taught me Christ. She was discipling me. And I didn't know where to go. Until I tried to find my way and said, okay, I need now to find someone I will walk with. So there was this lady. She was a believer also. She was coming from a good family. And we talked, we prayed together. And we said, I think we can be good husband and wife for the purpose of the work we want to do. So I proposed to her. We arranged all our weddings, and we did our introduction, and she passed on 10 days to the wedding. Don't clap. She died. She died 10 days to the wedding. And the death was mysterious because the death came from a dream. She had a dream that an old woman was chasing her throughout the night, and the old woman beat her on the head. In the next day when we met, she told me the dream, but I had got the same dream that night, that I was seeing an old woman who was saying to me, "Husband, are you leaving me?" Now, I knew the covenants that were in my life, but I had not understood cleansing and consecration. I was just with a testimony going on. Jesus has saved me. And so the next day we met, and she said her dream with me. I didn't tell her my dream. And that day she got a headache, and around 7:30 in the evening she died. And when she died, I was angry with God. I got mad at God. I said, "God, how dare you do this?" And in that anger, I'm sharing this with you as my partner so that you know what the journey of consecration. In my anger towards God, I decided to serve him in anger. I said, "I'm going to serve you, God, but I'm angry at you." And suddenly, I fell sick. I was taken to hospital, and I was found with leukemia. Suddenly, the doctor said it was stage 4 cancer. I was put in hospital for a whole year. You have heard my story. And Jesus came to me in the hospital at home, And I've been cancer-free since up to now. And out of the cancer and all those deaths, I made up my mind that the issues of marriage, I will serve the Lord, but let me forget about the issue of marriage. Until this young lady showed up. I was sitting in my room. I had a small room where I was praying for people. And one of the ministers came and said, there's someone who wants to see you. And when I opened the door, someone was coming in, and she had a deformed face. The mouth was here, the eyes were here. So I look at something coming in, and I hear the voice of the Lord. That is your wife. I said, I cancel that in Jesus' name. She can't be. So she sat there. She told me her problem. I made up my mind to pray that she's not healed so that she does not return. So I prayed a prayer knowing she will not be healed. And God healed her instantly. The mouth returned. Those are the miracles. My first miracles I saw. The eyes returned. I looked at her face, so beautiful. And I said, God, I thank you for my wife. And so I went before the Lord, said, Lord, I thank you. After a few days, she returned with a prayer request. She had a seed. She was sowing a seed and say, you prayed for me. My mouth was okay. My life is restored. And I have my fiancé who lives in the UK. But every time he wants to come for our wedding, something stops him. So I want you to pray for our marriage. I said, God have mercy. I needed the offering, and I couldn't put in my proposal. So I received the seed, and I told her, I'll go. I'll pray. So don't ask me how I prayed. But I prayed for the will of God. I prayed. I prayed the will of God. And so, after some time, I remember I told her, by the way, sister, we are praying for the other guy from the UK, but this is what God is saying. Your husband is here. And I can tell the shock. She looked like, what are you talking about? You are a pastor, you're a man of God. But being her, she said, okay, let's seek the Lord. And after some time, she said, okay, we can move on. And then later, she came back after 6 months. And less. After some months, she came to me and said, James, you are not the one. And I said, if I'm not the one, leave my church. How can you stay in my church when you have refused my proposal and I'm the pastor? But she said, the God who told me to stay here has not told me to leave. And I said, you will leave by force. So we began prayer meetings with my team to pray against Jezebel, Delilah, the agent of Satan who came in the ministry. So we continued praying, we prayed. But the more we prayed, the more my team started joining her and leaving me. So I realized there was a problem. I don't know why she said no. And that's when someone came and one of the people I was pastor and said, why don't you go for a deliverance seminar? And that's how I began my journey of my consecration, my deliverance. And this woman you see here, she stayed in the ministry. She had refused me, and she kept me waiting for another 5 years. 5 years, she said she stayed around for 5 years, watching me, and she stayed in the ministry, even in the church, doing different things and watching, and seeing if I'm transformed. And after 5 years, from the time she said no, and then yes, and yes, and no. Then later, after 5 years, she said to me, James, I've watched you. I believe you are delivered. But I believe now you are on the right course to do the will of God. And when I proposed, after 5 years of waiting, we married. So when I say she's my pastor, it's not just a word. She pastored me those years when I was fighting her to leave the church. Later, when I saw she was not leaving, we became friends. Remember, became friends in the ministry. She began guiding me, teaching me, praying with me, with another sister. And we began seeking the Lord together. And then from there where we were, we came to this place in 2008. We came to this place in 2008. So we are not here yesterday. We came to this place 2008, and where that tent is, that's where we had a small church. Very small. I don't know, this you cannot see. Very little church of iron sheets. And 2018, I was praying there. 2017, and the Lord said, He showed me this place. We didn't own this place. It was just here, and said, I want a church there. In 2018, He told me to send invitation cards to people to come for the launch of the church, and gave me the date, and we had not yet bought the land. He told me on 23rd December 2018, it will be opening the church. And that was around May, and we had not even bought the land. And in August, we were able to buy this land, and he told me, you're going to build that church without a fundraising, without anyone asking for help, and you're going to do it in strictly 150 days. Strictly 100. And said, count 150 days. And I said, Lord, I don't have money. I remember that time we had like maybe $300 on our account. That's the only money we had, me and her. We didn't have many members. And the Lord told me, don't fundraise. Just every day, go where the land is and pray in tongues through the night. And I could see by morning, whatever we needed for that day could come. And that's how we built this place, furnished it, put in everything in 5 months without a date and without a fundraising and without money in the bank. We didn't have money. We didn't have money in the bank. We only had like $300, me and her, the little we had. And we could see the Lord provide money, what we needed. People could just drive here and say, I don't know what you're doing here, but I want to buy 100 bags of cement. People could just come. Sometimes I think they were angels. And exactly 150 days, that day the Lord has said, we were opening this church, we were opening this building. That was the opening day when we were opening. And we are doing that in exactly 150 days without dates, without bank account. And then the Lord said, this shall be a house of prayer for all nations. This shall be a house of prayer for all nations. 2018, after opening the church, 2019, I was traveling different parts. 2018, I was traveling because I was going to nations preaching. And the Lord told me, stop what you're doing. Return to my altar. I didn't do that. Why? Because I was needed in different parts of the world. 2019, I fell sick again. When I got healed, the Lord said, start your consecration again. And it began in 2020. My first consecration ended in 2023 before we released the testimony that many of you got. So the testimony you heard has been around for years, but this time it came out after 1,000 days of consecration, personal consecration. My team did not know it was consecration, but I just kept, I thank God for my team, for the ministers here who are around. I just kept taking them through programs and programs. Let's do this. They don't understand, we do it. Let's do it. 2023, I told them now we're going to deeper. But for me, I knew it was a journey of consecration until I finished my 1,000 days of consecration. I went to UK in that July, and we recorded the testimony. And after that, here we are. That was my consecration. But now the call is for the people that will join the consecration for their nations. The people that will obey the call to walk the consecration journey, to go through cleansing, the Lord to give you nations, to give you that nation where he wants all our nations to be his dwelling place. So this partnership we are here is not about just working with me. It is we are coming as a body to go through our consecration. What is different that me, I didn't have anyone to guide me. We are a body, different nations. We are here to partner and raise an altar of consecration through partnership. I thank God that this is done in Uganda, because I believe Uganda is an altar as a nation. We are an altar nation. We are a priesthood nation. And when the Lord is launching this global revival through consecration, calling the nations, calling the church, calling the intercessor to come in a place of consecration, that's why we are partnering. It's not about giving money. I was telling Pastor Juliet, say, honey, it's not about people giving. It's about me and you, giving ourselves for their lives. And and I was telling Pastor Juliet now, we have been praying for people. We've been ministering to people. We've been interceding for people who ask for prayer. Oh, pray for me, Pastor James, pray for me. But now we are having people that are covenanting with us to bear them as their intercessor. Meaning that whatever is in their lives, their marriages, their children, their ministries, it has become our priestly responsibility to intercede, to bear them. And she knows what I mean when we take to bear them, meaning asking God to put their pains on our bodies, to put their problems on our lives, to put their challenges, to tell God, if someone is going to get sick and the sickness has come, let it be upon me, but not upon them. Because now it's a covenant. Amen? It's not just our giving. It's a covenant. We are becoming a family, and we are taking the priesthood. We are taking the cross for all of us, because I believe there must be a man who chose to be a sacrifice for others. And a time will come when you bear others. So this partnership, I don't look at it just giving or whatever. I'm looking at it as a bond of love, a bond of responsibility to bear the burden as intercessors, as one body. So I thank God for allowing me, giving me the opportunity and the privilege and the grace to be your intercessor. But also I want to say this, friends. I'm proud to call myself an intercessor. I love it. I enjoy it. I know many want to be others, but I have found it the most honorable ministry. The Lord trusting you with people's lives and asking you what concerns them. To me, it's an honor to be an intercessor. And also, when I came to Christ some years ago, there was this thing about intercessors. They are poor. They are off in the church. If you want to know the intercessor, the one who does not look sane is the intercessor. The one who does not look normal, the one who is so poor, the one who is off is the intercessor. And so when the Lord called me and said, James, you are not a pastor. You are not an apostle. You are not a prophet. You are my intercessor. I didn't understand what it meant. But when I looked at all the intercessors around, I go, oh God, look at that one. Look at that one. You mean I'm going to be like this one? I'm going to be like this one? And he said, there's something they did not understand. I want you to teach them. And I want to use that as an example. That you can prosper, you can be well, you can be good, you can live a good life while faithful as an intercessor. And I think this, I want this to be an encouragement to someone who was fearing the journey of intercession. Intercession does not mean poverty. It doesn't mean being in lack. It means having the best. So the Lord has been faithful. He gives me the best, but I remain on the altar. And I die every day. I die every day. Intercession means dying. Yesterday I was sharing with you when the Lord told us in our consecration to call conferences and pay for everything. Bring the pastors, transport them, feed them, take them back home. And we always could sell our property to get the money to run the conference. We didn't know that the Lord was saying, this is another level of intercession. It's not about praying, it's also about sacrificing. So I want to accept the responsibility, me and Pastor Juliet, to bother us, to disturb us, to call us, to rebuke us, so that we finish together the consecration. And this is what I want to say this night. Because if I don't say it, I don't feel fine after here. You cannot be my partner and live in sin. Because your sin defiles all of us, including me. Remember this, that your sin is going to affect all of us because we are in covenant. One of you means all of us. So your responsibility is to walk in purity as I walk in purity. Your responsibility is to be accountable to me as I'm accountable to you, as a partner. If my wife is my partner, if her sin defiles me, it means even my sin defiles her. So your sin, your impurity, your bitterness, your uncleanness affects this relationship. And if you walk in sin, we will know and we'll ask the Lord to cut you off if you can't repent. That's very important. Because it's not about being a big group. I believe we can be few. Just a few of us. Even if we are 10 of us who are saying we are walking in purity, we are walking in holiness, we are walking in covenant. You know, for years, people have been asking me, Pastor James, raise the partners, where are the partners? And I didn't feel like, until this time, when I felt it's time for partnership. After the year we've walked together, it's time to walk in holiness and purity. Friends, if there's anything I fear, I don't fear demons. I don't fear even Satan himself. I fear sin. I fear sin because I know, because I saw before I came to Christ what sin was doing to believers, including men of God. I know what sin does to you. It's not about a mistake. It's about losing a garment. It's about losing a position. It's about losing your inheritance. You call it just one sin. It's not one sin. There is nothing like one sin. One sin is all. One sin is a gate. It opens for all. It puts your ministry, your church, your nation, your family in the hands of the devil. Because sin is covenant. Sin is covenant. You sin, you've covenanted with the Spirit. You harbor sin, you covenant with the Spirit, but also you become a gate to destroy others. So my call for you as partners, as my covenant partners, if you are going to walk with me and I'm going to walk with you, let us agree that we walk a life of no sin. And I don't say you will not sin. You will sin. I will sin. When I sin, what happens? I repent quickly and not turn back to that sin. But if we have people here who you want to covenant with me, but live in sin, break the covenant of marriage, you are divorced. The moment I know that, and I ask you to change your note, I just ask the Lord to cut you off from this covenant. Because you become a danger to others. You become a danger to the team. You become a danger to me. You become a danger to the revival. We must emphasize. We should not look at numbers. Pastor Henry and Pastor Fred and Pastor Juliet can tell you, we have never asked for numbers. We never actually. That's why you see we are messed up when you came. We didn't prepare for you. We didn't prepare for numbers. We never asked for numbers. We never asked for people actually. That's why you're saying, Pastor James, where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Even the chairs you're sitting in, we are buying them during the prayer, the service. When there are no more chairs, say, what do? Go and buy 50. Because we never prepared for numbers. We were just in our consecration. So we are not looking at, don't look at the numbers. Don't look at gathering people. Look at the quality of the people, not the quantity. The quality. It's not about 1,000 people partnering with me or with us. Even if there are 3, only 3. You've read the testimony of the 21 women. You've read the testimony? You heard about it? They were not 50. They were 21. But their work still continues up today. Why? Because I'm still preaching. And what I'm preaching, what I'm doing right now, it's their work. Those 20 women, what I'm doing right now, the purity, the teaching, what I'm doing, it's their work. It's not my work. I may have fought them, scattered them, but what they had released in the Spirit still goes on up today. After 24 years, their testimony still goes on because of, so even if we are 20, we are 15, we are 30, even if we are 10, but if we walk according to the leading, according to to purity, according to holiness, and we pursue holiness as partners. So our partnership is going to be different from the different places, different means we partner with. Our partnership is going to be more partnership in prayer. If you're not willing to commit yourself to prayer, a way to pray, you're not part of the partnership, even when you give your money. It's not about the money. So the pledge is not, I'm not pledging $10. I'm also pledging an hour a day. I'm pledging an hour a day for this. Not just my money, but also I'm committing myself to pray. I'm committing myself every day to pray for 5 people in this group. I'm committing myself every day to pray 30 minutes for my pastor. I'm committing myself to this. It's not just we are giving money. First of all, we are committing to holiness, but we are committing to prayer. So the next communication you'll get from me next week as partners will not be how much money are you giving.